sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North.
Good evening. What's up? What's good, everybody? Welcome to All About Sports 216 Sports Show with me, Keith Allen, on this Tuesday evening. It's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Happy holidays to everyone, and hope everyone gets to spend time with their families during this holiday season, this holiday week. What's going on, everybody? We have plenty to talk about today. I'm up here, of course, I'm doing my usual. I'm up here fumbling with my stuff and everything, and passing the show around and stuff like that. But what's good, everybody? What is going on today here in the wonderful world of sports here in the Cleveland area and stuff? We got a few things going on. We're going to talk about the Cavs. We're going to talk about the Browns. And we may talk a little about the Guardians. And we're going to talk a little bit about Cleveland State. And last but not least, I will have the All About Sports 216 NFL Hot 10 rankings for this week. The Hot 10 rankings for this week, as there has been a lot of movement in the middle. At the top, probably everything stayed the same at the top, but in the middle, it's a lot of moving and shaking going on and stuff like that. What's going on, everybody? Right now, I'm just up here sharing my show and everything and whatnot, getting things ready and stuff. And it'll be some, in particular, some I'm going to go to first. Let's do this, and do this, and do that. Okay. Do this. I'll be able to focus with you in a second. Sorry about this, everybody. When you don't have when you're just doing everything yourself, it can be a little hassle sometimes. It can definitely be a hassle. But this is what we're going to do. First thing first, we're going to get to the captions here. Also, I got a special treat. I got a special guest for you today. Also, a writer from Dogs by Nature. My man, Mr. Barry Shuck, will be on with us in a few minutes as we discuss the Cleveland Browns and what to expect from the Browns in the last weeks of the season, even though there's, let's see, it's like 6-7 games left. What to expect with the Browns and everything, and how things are going in the state of the Cleveland Browns. But let me get back to things at hand real quick. Let me get back to my captions. First off, the chat lines are open. Feel free to holler at a brother. Feel free to comment, speak up, or whatnot. Shout out to everybody that's watching on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Shout out to all y'all, but feel free to holler, because everything, hit me up. Also, I'm up here, see, starting off a little slow, okay. Up here, subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. That's right, subscribe to the Alan Viz Media 2 YouTube channel. where you got content from this show, the Cleveland Browns pregame and postgame show. Also, got got the Triad Committee coming on as well in the middle of December. Now, far as for the Browns fans and everything, the preview show for the Browns game will be on Monday. Next Monday at 7 p.m. That will be happening next Monday at 7 p.m. And I highly doubt that there will be a post game, but there will definitely be a pregame and stuff. So be sure to check that out as the Browns visit the Mile High City to take on the Denver Broncos, who are 7-5, and they're fighting for a playoff spot. Everybody knows the Browns are 3-8, and right now are in the basement in the AFC North, but play competitive football as they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers. But me and Barry will be talking about that in a few minutes. Also, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a league best record in the NBA at 17-1. Yes, 17-1. The Cavaliers on top of the league right now and everything, and in first place in the East, in the Eastern Conference. And the Cavaliers will be facing the Atlanta Hawks this Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. They got a stretch where the Cavs will play the Atlanta Hawks, I think, Wednesday and Friday. And then they got the long awaited rematch against the Boston Celtics on Sunday here at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The long awaited rematch with the Boston Celtics, who, by the way, bring back Kristaps Porzingis. He had his first taste of action last night, and he played pretty well in his first taste of action. He scored 16 points, had 6 rebounds, and Boston overwhelmed the LA Clippers. They overwhelmed the Clippers, and the Celtics are second in the East at 15-3. We'll also talk about a little bit of Cleveland State with the Cleveland State men's who had a little trouble this past Saturday against the Kent State men's basketball team and the Cleveland State women's basketball team who easily, handily defeated Ohio Dominican also over the weekend because they had a doubleheader at the Wallstein Center. Shout out to both teams, even though the men took it on the chin against Kent State. Seems like for some reason they can't get it over the hump against Kent State for whatever reason in the past recent years. And also, I will be telling you about some high school football. Also, as shout out to the Glenville Tarbletters as they will be facing Sandusky Perkins in the Division 4 state semifinals, along with also St. Ed's who advanced to the Division 1 state semifinals. I will find out their opponent in a few minutes, just about. As they advance, it seems like every year is Glenville, St. Ed's, Glenville, St. Ed's, every year, every year. So good luck to both them squads. Good luck to both of those squads. Now, let's see. Let me go here. See, got my guest. So we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns, but I got a special guest for you all. He is a writer for Dogs by Nature, and he discusses the Browns a whole lot. I have welcome to All About Sports 216 Sports Show, Mr. Barry Shuck. What's going on with you?
Hey Keith, how are you?
Doing pretty
Is
good. Yourself?
what's the temperature like in Cleveland today?
Right now it's about like 40 something degrees, but in the next couple of days it's going to take a dip.
Yeah,
And
it's
we
going to
supposed to
take a
see the
big
white
dip.
snuff too.
Yeah, take a
Yeah, it's supposed to take a dip for the worse and everything. I'm not looking forward to this kind of weather, to be honest. I done got spoiled and everything. Because, it don't really get cold here till late November anyway, but I'm
right.
not ready for it right now. So how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing real well. It's been a crazy season. It's weird that we're only 11 games in, and we're already
Yeah.
talking about who the Browns should take in the draft next year, because we're not talking about playoffs.
No, not at all. We're not talking about playoffs or anything. And I wanted to get to you about that because we haven't been in this position talking about the draft or talking about the season is over this early in the season in a while. I think since the 1 in 15 years, just
Right.
about,
The
and the 0 in 16 years.
yeah, taking Baker Mayfield first overall was the last year that they had such a horrible season.
Yes, yes. And let me ask you this. So,
All right.
in the draft, what would you think the Browns' biggest need would be to address in the first round next year in
Um,
2025?
I am always a person that likes to go offensive line. I just think that that's what to do. Um, and there are two players in the first round, one from LSU, one from Texas, that they could take that would be offensive tackles. Draft sites have put um, receiver at the top of the list. I just think that they ought to, you know, it, uh, Keith, it was just 2 years ago that the Browns' offensive line was ranked third overall, and
Correct.
now they have 47 sacks, which leads. Look at the offensive line. It's the same five guys, except you put Dewan Jones in for Jed Wills, and if he does play, that's the same five guys that just years ago league. Now all of a sudden they're 28th. That didn't make any sense.
Right. And you got to look that also the Browns will probably be needing some tackles next year for one, because you really, Dwan Jones, he's shown that he's versatile, that he can play both sides, but staying healthy has been a big concern for Dwan Jones. And you don't really know the situation in the next year heading with Conklin as well.
Yeah, I think Conklin's going to, I don't have a problem with him. Game last week, you look at who he went up against. TJ Watt.
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
hear Watt's name?
Nope.
No.
Silence.
Did you see any
Silence.
sacks by Watt? No. He had
No.
he had he had four tackles, and only one of those was a solo tackle. That he was helping with the run, but he sure wasn't pass rushing. That's for sure. Right now, the Browns, as far as the draft goes, they're listed eighth. Last week before the Steelers game, they were listed third, and of course that shoved them down. Jacksonville has the first pick, followed by the Giants, followed by the Raiders. Um, I think offensive tackle Kelvin Banks of Texas, he's a junior, 6'4", 320. That would be an excellent.
That would help out a
Who
lot.
slows down? Because you think about it, Dewan Jones is our future. We're going to get one
Yes.
more year out of Conklin if he stays healthy. If he
Yes.
stays healthy the rest of this year, if he stays
Yes.
healthy next year. So if you get Dewan Jones and go ahead and draft a tackle in the first round, you've got either Will Campbell from LSU or Kelvin Banks. You get one of those two guys, and then you've still got Batonio, you still got Taylor, you still got Ethan Posick at center. You just they've already got Zach Zenter, who will probably have Keller's place.
Correct.
Batonio hardly ever gets hurt. So if they're
True.
going to need to go ahead and draft a guy for him, in the fifth, fourth or fifth round and give him a couple of years. But I think offensive tackle now. What a lot of people want the team to do is they want them to draft the defensive tackle from Michigan, Mason
Okay.
Graham, who's
Okay.
6'3", 318 pounds. He's only got 3.5 sacks, but he's in the offensive backfield a lot. Now, when I say that, when he goes against Penn State and Wisconsin and Minnesota, he has a hard time. But when he goes against Western Michigan, when he goes against, North Carolina State, those numbers get elevated. But when he plays against hard teams, he's still a force in the middle.
Yes, yes. Because you have a lot of people looking at quarterback first, and I'm not really one far as the quarterback class this year.
Yeah,
Not too sure the quarterback class this year. And to be
right.
honest, really, I think if it were to behoove the Browns, that they may at the end of the year probably address maybe signing Winston for another year or so to
Yeah.
bridge the gap between when they do find that man. Or if quarterback ain't the answer in the first round, who would you say if the second round comes? If they wanted to choose a quarterback, who would be some of the candidates?
I think Quinn Ewers from Texas would be a good choice. I think he'll be there when the Browns pick. Let's just say if we're talking about where the draft order as it is today, the Browns will
Correct.
draft at number 39 in the second round. Quinn Ewers of Texas, he's 6'2", 204. He's thrown 23 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. Got a QB rating of 154.1. He's completed 68%. They say if you complete for 60% or more, then you're a good quarterback. Now, I think Jalen Milroe of Alabama will be there. He's 6'2", 220.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watched Alabama versus Texas, when they took
Yes.
away Milroe's legs and wouldn't allow him to run, which is kind of his thing, um, it's like RG3, that he was a runner. Tim Tebow, he was a runner first. When you took away their legs, they were forced to sit in the pocket, scramble receivers, and one got flushed from the pocket and had to look downfield. He wasn't very effective, but his forte is that he's a runner and he can gain 17 yards before anybody knows that he's left.
Right.
So, but he would be in the second available. Um, Another guy available is Garrett Newsmeyer from LA. He's 4,000 yards already.
Okay. Your sound went out.
My
Barry,
sound went
can you
out.
hear me? Yeah, it went
Yeah.
out for a second. Now I can hear you now. I can hear you
Okay.
now. Okay, and you were talking about the young kid from LSU, Newsomeyer.
Garrett Newsmeyer from
Okay.
6'2", 200 pounds. He's thrown for 3,458 yards. He's got 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 63.2% completion ratio. But he's a leader. He's and I don't know how you Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, get passers. I love a running quarterback. I like a guy. Lamar Jackson is an exceptional quarterback in the NFL.
Yes.
Anybody that can
Yes.
just, if his first receiver aggression, and then he gets flushed, he's 7, 8 yards downfield. And the thing about that is you've already left the defensive lineman. So now it's 7 defenders instead of 11. And if you bring another guy, that's 5 defenders. The other guys are all covering somebody. So linebackers are on running backs or tight ends. safeties and cornerbacks are on their guy. So Lamar, I don't know. It's just a great runner. I would love to see him. And I think at one time was that guy. Now when he breaks the pocket, he
Yes.
looks like he lumbers. You agree?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, how can I say, it's wow. And to think that Deshaun Watson was like, we got her higher than Lamar Jackson when they was both in college
Yeah.
and in the early years and everything. And to see now, it's, even though, but like I tell people, Deshaun still got that roster spot for the next 2 years. He still got that roster spot, but I couldn't guarantee him anything far as besides that. Couldn't be no more guarantees besides that, just the roster spot and everything. Now, if he feels that he could take the job, he gonna have to ball out next summer, well, next year. But I don't even think he's gonna be ready by training camp, personally.
Well, I've looked on a medical site once. If you got an office
Hmm.
job, which that would put it about April. Um,
Yeah,
you know, just 300-pound guys are laying on top of him. So,
exactly.
but if you go from April to July, I think he'll be ready for training camp. A lot of
Yeah.
people, a lot of people are assuming that they're going to either bench him or
Hmm.
bring somebody in. I mean, it's like in the draft, if they took Shadur Sanders, or if they took the quarterback from Miami.
Cam
Um,
Ward.
yeah, if they took one of those two guys, and let's just say the Browns are in the top five and they took one of the two guys, what you don't understand is that those guys are not going to play for 2 years. They're not going to
Yep.
play in 2027. Deshaun Watson is the Browns quarterback next year and the following
Preach.
year. They
Preach.
they they have to
Preach.
play him. It's not a matter of if they're going. He's untradeable, and no matter
Yep.
how he plays, they're going to play him. And there's two reasons behind that. The first is he gets paid 46 million. Well,
Yep.
let's say that you bring in another guy. Let's just say that we go out in free agency and we sign a guy like Brock Purdy from the 49ers. Let's say that they pay him $30 million a year. Well, you've got Deshaun at
Woo.
46 and Purdy at 30. That's $76 million to one position. You can't do
Yes.
that. What's your thoughts?
No. That's it's not logical.
No,
It's not logical. You can't do that. And
no.
I tried to explain that. I tried to tell somebody, like, people be like, well, maybe they can cut the shine. I was like, that's not so easy because that dead cap number will exceed $100 million or
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And
You're
you
going to
won't,
pay him. You're going to pay him whether he plays or not. If he's sitting
yes,
on, if he's sitting on a beach in Aruba, you're paying him,
yes,
and you're
yes,
paying this other guy. And
yes,
it's one thing if it's DTR who's on a rookie fifth round
right,
contract. All right, if
right.
you're paying him, you can afford to cut Deshaun loose.
But
Winston is not playing on very much. If that's the
no,
case, but if you're talking about bringing in a good guy, let's say they went after Kirk Cousins, or let's say that they went after Pat Mahomes and they signed him to $50 million a year. You got
you got
96
$100 million tied up in the quarterback position.
you're going to have to let go Denzel Ward. You're going to have to let go Joel Batonio. You're going to have to let go JOK, and you got to let go
Barry,
of all these guys because you can't afford it.
Barry, I've been saying that for the longest. You're gonna say goodbye to a lot of other guys
Yeah,
if you go
yeah,
ahead and do this and everything. Like they
yeah,
said in the old days, it's cheaper to keep her.
yeah,
Right now, it's cheaper to keep them. I
yeah.
mean, and
Absolutely.
plus, the book ain't closed on Deshaun Watson yet.
No,
The book ain't
no.
closed on him and stuff. I think, truthfully, what do you think really is the main problem with Deshaun Watson so far since he's been. Well, actually, this year I think it's been more so this year than last because he didn't look like this last year under Kevin Stefanski's old
Well, if you
offense.
if you if you look at all the yeah, he's played in 19 Browns games
Right.
and he's missed
Right.
32. That's an
Yeah.
issue. He missed all of 2022, or half of 2022 with the games, all of 2021. His last season, he burned up the league. He had 823 yards for the Texans. Um, he was an absolute stud that year. Threw 33 touchdowns with only 7 interceptions. Was uh, Pro Bowler 3 years in a row. Now, when he threw for almost 5,000 yards, that was for a team that only won 4 games.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
not
And I
like he
tried to.
had this huge offensive line in front of him. He had
Right.
DeAndre Hopkins as a receiver, but who else was there? Who was his tight end? Who was his running back? He pretty much did all that on
Mm-hmm.
his own, and he had a lot of
Correct.
rushing yards, just like he did at Clemson. He ran the ball a lot. If I knew what Deshaun's problem was this year, I would be on the payroll of the Browns right now.
Tell
Um,
me about it.
I would call you, and you can be my assistant. Do you need an office?
Right.
You need an office, or can you just stand out in the hallway?
Exactly. Because I kind of think, honestly, a lot of it is in between the years right now. It's in between the years. And I think sometimes when you do a little bit too much dabbling, changing the whole offense
Yeah,
and everything, things don't quite work as planned. And I will say this, they didn't do him no favors by not playing him in the preseason either.
yeah, but and the only well, I think that's a trend though,
Yeah,
Keith. I think that's a trend that so many starters get hurt, and they do those scrimmages with a team like we had a scrimmage with the Vikings this year. You
correct.
bring you're going to play the Vikings on Friday or Saturday, and you bring them in on a Tuesday, and you scrimmage with them 3 days, or 2 days in shorts and helmet. Then you play Friday night. Going to be, and then eventually they're going to go to 18 games, and they're going
Correct.
to cut that down to 2. You're not going to see the starters at all, and
No, you're
really,
not.
really, what the exhibition has been for. Well, let me reverse that. Way back, training camp used to be to get you in shape, and they used to have 6 exhibition games to get you in shape. Players worked somewhere, like Vince Lombardi worked at a bank when he was
Hmm.
offensive coordinator of the New York Giants before he got the Packers job. He worked at a bank in the offseason. He was thinking about going into banking instead of coaching because he wanted to be a head coach and nobody was giving him the opportunity. So all players had another job. Y.E. Tittle, he started an insurance agency. It's open today. You can
Hmm.
go online and find Y.E. Tittle Insurance. But all
Yeah.
these players, so they did all those exhibition games to get guys in shape. Well, you don't have to do that now because guys,
Right.
they train all year round. And I tell you what, if I played today, I guarantee you I'd be running every day. I'd be lifting 3 days a week. I'd be watching what I ate.
Hmm.
I do a lot of interviews with former players and current players, and one of the questions is, "What is your diet?" And they'll tell me,
Yeah.
"Well, it's like I did an interview with Joe Thomas. He told me I could not keep the weight off, and they wanted me to be 315. He said I was around 300 pounds all the time. He ate 2 sleeves of Thin Mints Girl Scout cookies and a whole glass of milk every night,
Wow.
and that's how he kept the weight on him. That's why when he lost all that weight when he retired, he quit the Girl Scout cookies. That's all it was. He was still working out. So
Right.
so so now those exhibition games, it used to be if we our team signed you and you're into our system, you don't know our system, you don't know how we work. So we would, and if you get a new offensive coordinator, the offense doesn't know what's going on. So they would use the preseason game to get everybody acclimated to the system and acclimated to each other. Well, now the only thing preseason is for,
That's it. That's basically it.
yeah,
That's
it's the bottom part of the net. They're not looking at anything else. Why would you play Nick Chubb in the preseason?
true.
What you want to know is if Pierre Strong is going to be your third runner, you know, on the roster and off the roster. Is he running back three or is he practice squad material? So that's what
Hmm.
preseason is now, and that's why they didn't play Deshaun. They didn't have to. Plus, they didn't want all those people heckling him. They what they
Yeah.
thought is that he would come in and be Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans and of the Clemson Tigers and light up the league, and then everybody in the stands would shut up.
And I think he needs to get back to being that guy and everything. I also think that they probably need to re-sign Winston for another year. I think they should have did it with Flacco. 'Cause I think Flacco would have helped out with DTR and Deshaun. Because really, if you look at Jameis Winston, he's like a younger version of Flacco for real, a 30-year-old version of Flacco.
Yeah, yeah.
And he has the team's ear and everything. So I actually think the Browns should re-sign him. Now, let me ask you this.
What's that?
The Browns have a decision to make at running back next year.
Yep.
Who do you think it's going to be? You think they're going to bring back Nick Chubb? Or are they going to explore the draft or free agency?
Um, well, I don't think they'll ever. I think there are players. I think there are players in franchises that they will never cut.
Okay.
Now, the Giants did cut or ask.
You with me, Barry? You ain't freeze up on me, did you? Is you still with me? Is you still with me, Barry, or did you freeze up? Mm-mm. Let's see. Mr. Froze up. We're going through technical difficulties, everybody. Sorry for the inconvenience. Things I have Dogs by Nature staff writer Barry Shuck on with me today on All About Sports 216 Sports Show. Yes, feel free to comment. Get the likes up, get the comments up. Hit me up. You can watch me on X, you can watch me on Facebook, you can watch me on YouTube, and you can also watch me on LinkedIn as well. Gary dropped out real quick. Hopefully he'll come back on. Barry dropped out real quick. Hopefully come back on. I said his name wrong. But anyway, far as the Browns, they do have Denver coming up this Monday night. And still had a couple of questions to ask. But anyway, I'm going to move right along to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavaliers have the best record in the NBA at 17 and 1. And the Cavs then started a new winning streak since losing to Boston last week. They've won two in a row. And tomorrow they face the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow. I think the game is at home. Matter of fact, let me look on my little cheat sheet real quick. Let me see. I'm look on my cheat sheet for tomorrow. Let's see. Bing, 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 bing. The Cavs, yes, the Cavs do face the Atlanta Hawks at home on Wednesday, and then on Friday, November 29th, I think we do a home and home with the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do a home and home in Atlanta Hawks. It's a 2:30 game on Friday night. Well, on Friday afternoon, matter of fact. Then Sunday is the Boston Celtics. Now, the thing that is good and is scary with the Cavs is the load is no longer on Donovan Mitchell to be the sole and only scorer on this team. With the Cavs now, almost anybody can come and beat you on this team. Some nights it may be Donovan. Some nights it may be Evan Mobley, who has improved. Who is improved. He's starting to scratch the surface. Some nights it may be Mr. I say Jared Allen, Mr. Consistent Jared Allen. And other nights it may be Darius Garland, like I said. Then some nights it might be some defensive grit and some timely three-pointers from Isaac Okoro. Think about it. This team off the bench, Karis LeVert, when he's healthy, he's a double-digit scorer off the bench. He can have a big night. Um, the guy that's really done caught us all our eyes has been backup guard Ty Jerome, who only played 2 games last year due to an ankle injury and everything. But Ty Jerome, he's been getting buckets the last couple of games. Matter of fact, he scored like 26 in the Cavs' last game on Sunday, and 29 before that against New Orleans. Ty Jerome can come and get you. And George Niang, who's actually playing way better this year than last year. The man is in shape, though. I'm going to give it to him. He's in shape this year. He's been playing well. And think about this. The Cavs have been injured, too. Because you had key guys that's been missing. Karis LeVert for the last few games with a knee problem. Dean Wade, rotation guy, has been hurt. And you got to also think, they're also missing Matt Strus, who hasn't yet to play this year, but I think he'll be reevaluated sometime in December. So, like I said, things are going great for the Cavs at this moment, and I think things are trending definitely upward as the Cavs play these next few games with Atlanta 2 times. Then you got Boston here on Sunday, and Boston will have basically their full squad because they'll have Porzingis back. That will be the game on Sunday. That'll be an interesting game. I can't wait. But Cavs got to take care of the business at hand right now against Atlanta these next 2 games. They got to take care of the Hawks because I think the Hawks, we got Wednesday, then Friday is the Cup game, the Emirates Cup game. So, the Cavs are still in contention in their pool group as well. They're 1-1 in the pool group. And I think they're like in second place, third place, something like that. But they can get back in it with a win against the Hawks on Friday. And also, I just want the Cavs to win as many as possible. Get out to the biggest lead, have the best start, keep it going and everything. Of course, it's going to be some rough spots along the way, but hey, the Cavs so far so good. And under first-year head coach Kenny Atkinson, and I'm going to be honest, right now, I look wrong. Right now, I look wrong because I wasn't particularly on board with the Atkinson hire. I'll admit that. But hey, They're doing things, and I can't take that away from them at all. And the team plays faster, something I've been campaigning for the last couple of years. That the team played too slow, especially when you got two big guys that can run the floor in Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. I said this team plays too slow, but now that's not the case. They push the ball, and Evan Mobley is starting to just come into his own, which is a great thing. I got Barry back, started to come to his own, which is a great thing. Hey Barry, you back with me? I see.
Hey, I lost you.
Yeah, you had froze up like you was in the Phantom Zone for a minute and everything.
Yeah, I finally realized up in the upper right hand corner that the join the button. I thought I was in the room by myself. I I, I found out I have a cat.
Really? Where did the cat come from? Where did the cat come from?
Yeah. So what were we talking about? We were talking about running back.
Yeah, we was talking about running backs.
Yeah. I think as far as the Browns go, I have never been impressed with Jerome Ford. Um,
Okay.
I just haven't been. I like Pierre Strong. I think he's a good third option back. Now, I tell you who's going to get a lot of carries once he's healthy is Naheem Hines once he comes back next year.
Yes.
People think that he's just a return man, and he is. In fact, he'll take care of all the punt and kickoff returns. But he's going to get. He's got speed and he's got quickness. He's going to get some carries. But as far as Jerome Ford, they are not going to keep Deontay Foreman. Um, he has
No.
done. He has done very little. Neither one of those two backs can block worth crap. They they don't understand that you got to square up on a guy. They both try to chip a guy and hit him from the side and hope that that slows him down. But you got to square up on a defender. And I understand this guy is 325 and you're only know 250 that. I got that
Right.
completely, but that's what you're paid to do. Um,
Hmm.
but in the draft, I think maybe in the fifth or sixth round, a guy I like is from Auburn. His name is Jarquez Hunter. Um, he's got almost 1,000 yards. He's 5'10", 212.
Hmm.
He in high school he was Mr. Football.
Okay.
He's a senior this year, so he's had 4 years playing. Um, but he's got 909 yards this year, 7 touchdowns. But what I like about Hunter is he's not just a running back. The Browns require their guys to be good receivers, and he's got great hands. He's very involved in the passing game. He averages 13.2 yards a reception, and
Whoa.
his career average for rushing is 6.2 yards a carry.
Hmm.
Think about that. Over 6 yards a carry in college. Um, so I think that would be and another thing is he's got speed. He runs a 4.44 in the 40. He's an explosive back. He can make guys miss. He can also run through arm tackles. He's got vision. He's got lateral agility. Now he might be a little bit on the smaller size, um, and he may be a little bit more of a role specific player, but he would be an excellent guy to bring in and make him the running back, the second running back, and develop somebody, one of the runners they have, and to go along with him, like Pierre Strong.
Okay. Okay. Now, also a position that it seems like they might need some reinforcement in is linebacker.
Oh yeah,
He definitely needs some reinforcement in his linebacker due to nobody knows the status of JOK as of now. Hicks is a 1 year signee, and I think a lot of guys on there is 1 year signees. And You know, they lost a couple dudes last year, like Taki Taki and company. Who would be
Yeah,
on the board far as linebacker for the Browns, if possible, in the draft?
yeah. Um, I think a guy that I really like is he plays for um, who does he play for? His name starts with a T, but he's a 5 year linebacker. Um,
Hmm.
I watched him this weekend. I can hold on just a minute. I'll bring that up. Give me just a second.
Okay. 1, 2.
I watched him this weekend, and his name is Danny Stutzman from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Um, in that game against Alabama, he's just a hitter is what he is. He's all around the ball all the time. He doesn't have to come out on third down, and I think that'd be a good linebacker to start with. And that's what we need. We need guys who are tacklers. We need guys that will decide whether it's a run or a pass, make up their mind, and go after it. He's already been named a third team All American. He's been a first team All Big 12 last year, and he's very good in coverage. He's got form tackling, and he doesn't miss many tackles. Um, he's lined up at every position at linebacker. So you like Hicks. Hicks is a middle linebacker. We need somebody
Yeah.
that can come in. We got somebody that goes down that say, okay, you go play the will, and then somebody else gets hurt, you play the Sam. We need somebody that Stutzman has played all uh, all positions. He's got quick feet and allows him to engage downhill pretty quickly to get underneath blocks and take on larger offensive linemen because a lot of times you're dealing with a guy, a guard that has pulled, gone through the hole. Now he's at the second level, and he's dealing with the linebacker. And these linebackers have to be stout enough and big enough. Stutzman is 6'4", 241 pounds, but he's got
Hmm.
speed. He's got speed and he's got coverage ability. At 6'4", he's able to go against tight ends that are 6'6", 6'7", and have good coverage on them. A lot of times you get a shorter guy like JOK and Tony Fields when he was here. Um, and like you said, Taki Taki, those guys, the tight ends already got 6, 7, 8 inches on them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so they know how to use their body to shield off to make catches. So like Mark Andrews of the Ravens, perfect example of a tall guy that knows how to have long arms, knows how to turn his body, use his length, and there's no way you can cover that. So it's a
True.
reception, no matter what. Um, so that's who I would recommend as far as a linebacker goes. And Stutzman is not a guy who's going to miss tackle. He's going to have a bunch of tackles, and he's already over 100 tackles this year, and he's a 3 year starter. Had over 100 tackles 3.
Uh-oh. You with me, Barry? Vegas. Barry, you didn't freeze up on me, did you?
I was going to say the same thing about you.
Baltimore. Yeah, 'cause it's like you got in the Phantom Zone
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
that happens.
Yeah. Real quick, how many games do you think the Browns could actually win out for the rest of this season?
For the rest of this season,
Yeah.
um, realistically, I'm going to say three.
Okay.
They're not going to beat the Broncos. They're not going to beat. I think they've got a chance at beating the Bengals when they play them again. Um, and we play the Dolphins. And then I think what they're not going to beat the Steelers again, and they're not going to beat the Ravens again. You know what's weird about this year though is we have beaten the Steelers, who are what 8-3,
Correct.
okay, and we have beaten the Ravens,
Who 8 and
uh,
4?
who are 8-4. But yeah, we got beat by the 2-win Raiders. We got the 2-win.
Giants.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, always are up and down. Um, so there's a team that I don't think anybody's really considering. And
No.
and then we lost to the Bengals, um, and we barely got beat by the Eagles, and we beat the Ravens, and we beat the Steelers. Now, what's with all that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it makes you wonder, wow, this team really in a way could be let's see, 3 and 8 really should be around 5 and 6, 6 and 5 in a sense if you really look at it.
Yeah,
They could have beat
yeah,
Cincinnati. And in the games against the Raiders, Giants, Bengals, they was just begging for a spark offensively.
yeah. They acted like they wanted no part of winning any of those games.
Right.
Then
They just needed a
against
spark offensively.
Yeah, and then against the Commanders and the Cowboys, they just got taken to the woodshed.
Yeah, them was really the
And
only two games that they really was out of. And it has you
yeah,
wondering like,
well, yeah, against the Chargers at the time were just
yeah, and
as
the
bad
Chargers.
as the Browns at the time, and it was close in the first half. But it
Right.
was like it's like they made adjustments and we didn't. They they didn't. We couldn't tackle in the second half. We couldn't cover anybody. We couldn't stop the run in the second half, and we got whooped. And then we got
Yes.
whooped against the Saints, and we were close against the Saints for one half. It's like the offense
Three
will
quarters.
have, yeah, certain drives, and then uh, our punter Corey is the MVP of these games.
Yeah.
So,
And that
but
takes you back to the days of Phil Dawson.
yeah, it does. It does. But looking at the rest of their schedule, they beat the Steelers and they beat the Ravens. Against the Ravens, they had 3 interceptions in that game. They dropped 3, including on the
Hmm.
last drive. So they could have had 6
Yeah.
interceptions. Against the
Yeah.
Steelers. The Steelers came back on us. I mean, we dominated that game for 3 quarters,
For the most. Yeah.
even in the snow. Um, Two things that stood out in that Steeler game, though, to me, I was talking about Conklin on T.J. Watt, but another thing that came about was George Pickens had 41 yards in the first quarter, and Denzel Ward
Hmm.
was guarding him. He had a 30-yard catch. Uh, he was just moving the sticks. What Schwartz did was he switched M.J. Emerson for
Yeah,
Denzel
he
Ward,
did. Yeah, he did switch MJ Emerson to then
and then
to
Pickens only had
Pickens.
7 yards the rest of the game.
Go figure. And a lot of
So,
them times, I'm gonna be honest,
okay,
MJ has to learn how to track the ball because
yeah,
I was shocked a couple of times. Probably would have got called pass interference had they been on the road or something like that, and
yeah,
it wasn't. But good job, MJ. I'm gonna be honest, good job. But you got to keep a little more better track on the ball.
yeah, you do. And a lot of times, if they turn their head, not only can they knock it down, a lot of times it can be a pick
Yes,
just
exactly,
just by
exactly.
turning around and, like you say, tracking the ball and seeing where it comes. The receiver's looking at the ball the entire time. He's making adjustments
Hmm.
with his legs to get to the spot where the ball is. Then he makes adjustments with his hands and his body to jump. Whereas if the receiver's not looking at the ball, all he's doing is adjusting to who's making the adjustments.
Yes.
So
Now, go figure. Go
yeah,
figure. Now, real quick before I let you go and everything,
all right.
who do you have winning the AFC North?
Ravens.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It boggles my mind with the Ravens how they be losing games.
Isn't that the truth?
I mean, they're a mystery to me. It's like all you got to do is run Henry.
Yeah, all they have to do,
That's
or
it.
or Lamar. Lamar's a good runner too,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they
But
lead the NFL in rushing.
yes. And like when they play Pittsburgh or somebody, they only run Henry like 10 times, and I'd be like, oh no, that's not gonna do it. Oh, you getting too predictable against the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? And they do the
Yeah,
same thing every time they play Kansas City, where they don't run them enough or nothing like that. But I actually do think Baltimore will probably overtake Pittsburgh and everything to win the division and stuff and whatnot. And far as in the AFC, it's gonna be interesting because right now Kansas City is in the driver's seat no matter
yeah,
what. Like I told somebody said, "Well, Buffalo got him this time." I was like, "Buffalo got to beat him in January,
that's
and they
true.
probably going to go to Arrowhead and have to beat him."
Yeah, yeah, and really the only team that's ever had Kansas City's number has been the Bengals.
That's it. That's
I,
it. And I
I
don't
think
think the Bengals going nowhere this year.
no, they're not going anywhere this year. And Buffalo is one of those that they like the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys last 3 years have gone 12-4, and then are snake bit in the postseason. And I think the Bills are the
Yes.
same way. They until they can prove that they can beat the Chiefs, whether it's home or away. I mean, they beat the Chiefs at home this year, but that doesn't do anything in the postseason. I think it's going to be
No,
those
it
two
doesn't.
teams, and then it looks like it's going to be the Eagles against Detroit in the NFC. But you never know. Certain teams can just have a bad season. I mean, for a while there, the Arizona Cardinals were playing great, and now all of a sudden they're starting to lose some games. And Tampa looked good at first, and then now they're 5-6. So and
Mm-hmm.
you can't count out the Minnesota Vikings; they're already 9-2. So we'll just
Nah.
have to see. Hey, before I go, let me give you a football idiom.
Okay.
Um, what an idiom is? It's something that is um, it's like cold shoulder. When you give somebody the cold shoulder, it what it means is you are not paying attention to them and you're ignoring them. Um,
Okay.
but but if you're a foreigner, you think cold shoulder is the shoulder near your head and you should put a blanket on. And
Okay.
where that came from was back in medieval times. I had a castle. I know you, but I'm not really your friend. And you show up traveling. I'll give you a place to stay tonight. But for supper, I'm going to give you the shoulder, which is the worst part of the animal, and I'm going to serve it to
Okay.
you cold. I'm going to serve it to you cold, so that the next day you have incentive to leave. Now, if you're a great friend of mine, then I'm going to give you all the best fruit. I'm going to give you the all the best meat that I have. Bring out stuff like rice and potatoes, and you can stay as long as you want. And that's called a warm reception.
Right.
That's what an idiom is. And football is absolutely full of idioms. And I'm going to tell you
Yes.
where the term down came from. When an offense has the ball, they have four downs to make 10 yards, right?
Correct.
Well, why is it called a down? Well,
Wow.
how that got to be in the sport was the origins of the game, American football came from rugby. And rugby is just like basketball, just like hockey. As long as they have the ball, they have the ball. But if they give it up, then the other team has the ball. Well, American football is different. When an offense gets the ball, they have the ball for 4 downs unless they lose it. That was unlike any other sport. The origins of the game was the offense had 15 plays to score.
Right.
And what happened was the teams were not getting anywhere and bogging down, and everybody was disinterested. So the origin of the game, Walter Camp came up with 3 downs to make 5 yards. And that went on until the forward pass was legalized, and they got changed to 4 downs and 10 yard. Well, where the word down came from was when Walter Camp changed this for 3 downs to make 5 yards, and then a new possession if you met the 5 yards, if the yardage was met. Well, Camp called each play a down because the player with the ball was required to put the ball down on the ground immediately after each play.
Hmm. Interesting. After each play. And so that's where they huddle up and everything and get back ready to roll at it again and stuff.
Yeah, and the word huddle, that's an idiom too. That came from a college team that had it was a deaf college. And so what
Hmm.
happened back in the day was they would go to the line and yell out a bunch of numbers, and that was with the plays. And so
Wow.
you would say, okay, the third number I call is the play, and then you knew what number 7 was. Well, they were playing another deaf team, and he couldn't call out the play. So he had to get the guys back off the line. He got them in a circle, and he would sign them the play, so where their backs would screen the other team from seeing what he was signing. And then after a couple of plays, it was very loose, and he said, "Look, I need you to huddle together so that there's no light in between you." And that's how the huddle was invented.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
So there's 2 idioms for you.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Well, anyway, you have a happy holiday and
Yeah, it's gonna be.
thank you for coming on.
Yeah, Keith, it was fun. It's going to be a lot of games. 1 game on Friday, 3 games on Thanksgiving Day, and then
Yes.
this weekend in college football is rivalry weekend. So teams,
Yes.
so teams like Auburn, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia,
Yes.
Georgia State, Florida, Florida State, Virginia, Virginia
Yes.
Tech, Clemson, South Carolina. So there's lots
Yes.
to watch and lots to do. And but
Rivalry week.
I thoroughly enjoyed my time with you, and we'll
No
catch you next
doubt.
time.
Oh, no doubt. Have a good one and have a happy Thanksgiving, my man.
Sound to you. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you. That was my man Barry Shuck from Dog Right Staff Writer for Dogs by Nature. That was my man Barry Shuck giving me his input on the Cleveland Browns and some possibilities to look forward to for the Browns in the draft. Now I got some comments from my man Mike Grisfold. Uh-oh. Grisofe. I hope I said that right. The Jags need to serve up the prime. And said not throwing at officials. And he said, bring back John Madden. Man, you used to watch the Thanksgiving Day games with John Madden, and they used to serve the turducken after the game. I miss those days. I'm going to be honest. I definitely miss those days. I definitely miss those days. What's up, Mike? Thanks for commenting, my man. Definitely thanks for commenting. But anyway, real quick, I'm going to go do the top 10. My All About Sports 2 and Peppers. I'm going to do the All About Sports 216 NFL Hot 10. The top 10 teams in the NFL, according to me. My opinion. My opinion that counts as far as that. And a lot of y'all may agree and stuff, and some may disagree. But that's the way the world is today and stuff like that. What's up, Sean? What's going on with you, my guy? What's up with you? Just doing a thing and everything. Just doing a thing. Show us on a little overtime. About to do this hot 10 real quick. Then talk about the high school semi-state semifinal games real quick. Because you got Glenville and Sandy Perkins. And you also got St. Ed's. And damn it, I got to find out their opponent. See, I can admit when I'm wrong and stuff. I can definitely do that. But right now, let's get to this All About Sports 216 Hot 10 in the NFL. Real quick. I gotta get my cheat sheet here. Oh, shoot. See. Tuesday. Okay, Sunday. Bang, 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 bang. Let's see. At number 10. Dropping from number 9, it's the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans lost this past week to the Tennessee Titans, 32-27. The Titans are in first place all alone in the AFC South with a record of 7-5. Now, the Texans will be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they should get healthy back real quick. Chilling, getting ready for this holiday. Tell me about it. I'm not ready for the holiday, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That's at number 10. At number 9, the team moved up from a loss. The LA Chargers. The LA Chargers previously were ranked 10 last week. The Chargers took it on the chin as they lost to the Baltimore Ravens last night, 30-23. The LA Chargers will be taking on the Atlanta Falcons coming up this weekend. At number 8, moving down 4 spots from number 4, where have the mighty fallen? The Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers got beat by the Cleveland Browns 24-19 last Thursday night. The Steelers will be taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. So it's a chance for Pittsburgh to redeem themselves. But it won't be easy going to Cincinnati. At number 7, previously unranked, and I don't know why they were unranked. Silly of me. The Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings have did nothing but win. 9-2, second place in the NFC North. The Minnesota Vikings defeated the Chicago Bears in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they beat. What? Hold up. Oh, yeah, they beat the Chicago Bears 30-27 in overtime in Chicago. The Minnesota Vikings will be taking on the Arizona Cardinals. At number 6, another NFC North team, the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers made quick work of the Brock Purdy-less San Francisco 49ers, beating them soundly in Lambeau Field, 38-10. The Packers this week will be taking on Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. At number 5, moving up from number 6, is the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens yesterday defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 30-23 in the Harbaugh Bowl. That means Big Brother is 3-0 against Little Brother. But the Ravens are now 8-4 in second place in the AFC North. The Ravens will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend, which happen to be at number 4. The Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles, who they beat? They beat somebody. They beat the brakes off somebody. Philadelphia Eagles beat the Los Angeles Rams in LA last week, 37-20. The Philadelphia Eagles with a record of 9-2, alone in first place in the NFC East, will be taking on the Baltimore Ravens this weekend. At number 3, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs needed a late field goal to defeat the Carolina Panthers 30-27, where Patrick Mahomes said a blowout or two would be nice. Blowout or two would be nice. But anyway, the KC Chiefs are stayed position. Number 3, they was number 3 last week. The Kansas City Chiefs will be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders at home on Black Friday. At number 2, they was off due to a bye week. It's the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills take on the San Francisco 49ers. And I don't know if Brock Purdy is playing or not. So, Buffalo, 9-2, alone in first place in the AFC East. And at number 1, for 2 weeks in a row, we have the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions made quick work of the Indianapolis Colts, 24-6. Detroit Lions 10-1, best record in the league, tied with Kansas City. They take on the Chicago Bears at home on Thanksgiving. And there you have it, the All About Sports 216 Hot 10. Far as for the NFL, the Hot 10 teams in the NFL. Couple of movers that moved out. Well, Washington Commanders moved out the top 10. The Minnesota Vikings came in and took their spot. But hey, it happens. It definitely happens. Got another comment here and everything. Uh-oh, now my thing acting up. Ain't this some crap? Mike said, "Go Chubb." The Vikings 2 weeks ago. Defensive game loss. Yeah. And Mike, you also is right with the Ravens. Up and down a lot. It's amazing how this team ever loses games. I don't understand how they lose games. You got one of the best running backs in the league, and you don't run them enough to me. I'm just going to be honest. They don't run them enough to me. But, hey, when they play Cleveland again, they don't have to run them but 5 times against the Browns. That's it. Just run them 5 times against the Browns. Just run them 5 times. But anyway, this is what I was looking for. Bro, man, go to his cheat sheet. They's like, why does he go to his phone and everything? All my information I have is basically in my phone. All the information I have is basically on my phone. I wanted to get this information correct first and everything. Let's see. That's not telling me nothing at all right there. Division 4. Where? Cleveland High School football. Let's see. There we go. About to get it right now and everything, as this Friday is also the state semifinals of the Ohio Athletic Association High School Football Playoffs. As we have, St. Edwards will be playing Olentangy Liberty Olentangy Liberty Powell, Ohio this Friday. And like I said, this Friday. They don't say where they play at and everything, which is weird to me and everything. It's just weird to me where they play at. But St. Edwards will be playing Olentangy Liberty Friday at 7 p.m. Good luck to St. Ed's. And of course, the Glenville Tarblooders at 11-3 will be taking on 13-1 Sandusky Perkins, which lines up for two exciting games. Good luck to both our area teams. Get those state championships in Division I St. Ed's and Division IV Glenville. Matter of fact, if you both win the state championship, I think this would be 3 in a row for both of you. 3 or 4 in a row for St. Ed's. And 3 in a row for the Ville. So let's do this, y'all. Definitely let's do this. And there's some other games up here. I'm thinking some other local. Oh! Wait a minute. Also, shout out to Avon. Avon is in the state semifinal as they go against Akron Hobon in the state semifinal, which will be an interesting game. Pretty interesting game. And also, let's not forget our Menor neighbors, Kirtland. Kirtland will be taking on Northmore in the division. Let's see, what's this? Division 6? It's got to be Division 5 or Division 6. Let's see. But Kirtland will be taking on Northmore High School. And let's see. So good luck to our local teams in the local area. Let's get those state championships, fellas. Let's make it a clean sweep in Northeast Ohio. Let's see. Mike, you done typed a lot. Eagles probably Super Bowl. Yes, they are. They are Super Bowl contenders. At first I thought Detroit was going to make a clean getaway to the Super Bowl, but I don't know. If they play Philadelphia, it might be a little tough. Said you probably taking Chiefs versus Lions. That sounds like a good pick. That sounds like a good pick. That sounds like a good pick. You said the Jags need my phone. The Jags need help. They seriously need help. Seriously need help. But anyway, let me see something also here and everything. See if I can find anything on Cleveland State. Because you know I can't do a thing without talking about the Vikings. You know, for real, for real. You know I can't do a broadcast without talking about the Vikings and everything. Cleveland State, they're 3-4. The men's team. And let's see what they got on tap next. See what they oh, who is this? Right now they're playing right now. I don't know who the heck they playing. NJIT Highlanders. The Cleveland State men's team is up 31-33 in the second half. Let's go Cleveland State. Let's get that victory for the men's team. Because let's see. Let me look here at the records and stuff. Let's see. Okay. Cleveland State men is 3-4. Wait a minute. This is the females. No, that's the men's. Yeah, that's the men's. Yep. Yep, the men's up 31-33 right now in the second half. Wow, see, I didn't know they was playing. And all of a sudden, bang, they caught me by surprise. Let's see what the ladies are doing. Nothing yet. Let's see. Uh-oh. What's today? Today is the 26th. Let's see what the 27th brings. Nothing. 28th is Thanksgiving. I doubt if they're playing in. The 29th. The women will play Louisiana on Friday, November the 29th. The Cleveland State women's team will play Louisiana Friday, November the 29th. And then also, for all the Ohio State faithful and everything, he said, go Gators. This week is Let's Make Michigan Our Itch Again. This week, it's time for Ohio State to take on and beat the Wolverines this week. Let's go, O State. And a chance to meet Oregon again in the Big Ten Championship. Which, think about this, it is quite possible that Ohio State could play Oregon possibly 3 times this season. They already met once during the regular season. They can meet in the Big Ten Championship, and they can also meet possibly in the playoffs. Think about that Big Ten dominance. Think of this. The Big Ten can get Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana in the playoffs this year. In the college playoffs this year. Man, Big Ten is like one of the premier conferences. And think about it, all those teams only got one loss. Ohio State, Penn State, and Indiana got one loss. Sorry you had to give Indiana that first win. But hey, Ohio State, we got bigger fish to fry. Got bigger goals in mind right now. But shout out to the Buckeyes. Good luck to the Buckeyes as they take on the Michigan Wolverines. And down in Columbus. And hopefully on Monday, I'll be talking about how the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be playing Oregon in the Big Ten Championship. But first, they have to whoop on Michigan's ass on Saturday because they got it coming. Because Michigan is like 6-5. And Ohio State is 10-1. So let's go Buckeyes. Let's get this victory. Let's make Michigan our itch again. I ain't going to say the word. I'm going to be nice and everything. Hey. They say, hey, Keith, see? You got to be nice. Don't say the crazy stuff. But like I said, it's time to make Michigan our itch again. Let's go Buckeyes. And my son's a Michigan fan, so hey. A doubleheader and stuff. Hey, I got to see. Couldn't see his face when Pittsburgh lost last week. I know it was a happy moment. And I know it'll be a happier moment on Saturday when Ohio State defeats the Michigan Wolverines. It's a rivalry game, though. But Ohio State should be on P's and Q's and ready to take what's theirs this Saturday. But anyway, this is your man, Keith Allen. I'd like to thank all the people that commented. I'd like to thank Barry Shuck for coming on and giving me insight on the Browns and probably their potential draft picks in the future and everything, and the Browns' potential forecast for the future and stuff like that. Hopefully, the Browns can win a couple more games. Because, to be honest, talking about the draft sucks. Especially in November when you got 5-6 games left to go in a damn season. Come on. Talking about the draft sucks. Especially this early. And shit, think about it. We still got 6 games left. So, like I said, All About Sports 216 Cleveland Browns pregame show will be coming on Monday. That's Monday evening at 7 p.m. There will be no post game because my ass will be in the bed. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be in the bed getting ready to go to work the next morning. I'm going to be honest. And if it gets ugly, I'll probably be asleep right after halftime. So hopefully it doesn't get like that. Hopefully the Browns play some inspired, competitive football. And you never know. It might can pull a win out. You never know. But we'll see. That's why they play them any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, or Friday, whenever day the NFL plays. Like the NFL could take any day and make it golden. But like I said, and I went a little bit over time and everything, a little bit over, but it's all good and everything. But I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Everybody, have a good night. And also, everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving. Spend this time to cherish and celebrate your loved ones. Because you never know, they could be here today or gone tomorrow. Never take nothing for chance and never take nothing for granted. But anyway, for All About Sports 216 Sports Show, this is your man Keith Allen signing out. Everybody have a great holiday. Be safe. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do and everything. And eat all the turkey and ham and stuffing and macaroni and cheese and cranberry sauce and apple pie, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. And like I said, take this time to kick it with your relatives, kick it with your people, because you never know what day may be your last, because no day is guaranteed. It's guaranteed. NFL can make you sad and mad. Yes, it can. Yes, it can, Mike. You are definitely right about that. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy all the sports that's on tap this coming week. All the sports. Enjoy the Cavs. Enjoy Cleveland State. Enjoy the Browns. Enjoy most of all the rivalry games that's going to be coming on this weekend. Because like you said, you got Alabama, Auburn, got Ohio State, Michigan, and plenty of other rivalries. Clemson and South Carolina. Got a whole lot of stuff going on. I think Miami plays somebody and stuff like that. But enjoy your folks. Your family is first and foremost. But anyway, this is your man, Keith Allen, signing out. Peace. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And watch out for this weather that's coming up here to Ohio, because everything's supposed to take a change up real quick. This your man for All About Sports 216 Sports Show, Keith Allen, signing out. See ya. And I'll see you soon. Peace.
Sports. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys from the AFC North. We in it for the love of the sport. We the real McCoys, running the full court. We in it for the love of the sport.
Ain't that right?
We the real McCoys from the AFC